Hey guys. So the last 11 days have felt like an eternity. And it all started when I went to my job after my dream of the Polaris. I went to my house sitting gig and I decided to pick up my dad 2 days later. And when I went to the ferry terminal, there was a cute little crow, which I posted a little short because it like came to me, and I feel like I always knew that when I was 45, it was like going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And here I am. The first cute little crow was during a crazy time. And so, anyways, then I picked up my dad, and I felt like something really began. Even though like I started this in January, February-ish, I feel like the cute little crow, it came in like right as things were really shifting. So it was a very special moment. Almost like the same encounter, but from like a different angle, like with shadow. Like, yeah. So then I had a dream about a river, and I was flying like a crow over this river. And I was so far above the river that it looked small. And I was like, gee, this is like a really small river. And then I realized, oh, it's actually like massive and I'm just like high above it. And I kept on like going in and out, like kind of swooping. And there was like parasites that were like growing in this river, which can mean like good and negative things in a dream. But I felt like it was more about like transmutation, you know? And I realized that the river was actually going up. And that's not usually what rivers do. So I followed it, and like I hit a wall. I didn't hit a wall, but like the river hit a wall and was like, it was like a transaction that like can't happen. Like non-sufficient funds, right? And it was kind of symbolic of like this world just not being able to take anything more from the universe. Like the universe was like, no, you're not, that you're not getting the river. Like on the other side of this wall was like this perfect world because people are living as if like not you per se, but like, and not me, but there are people who are just kind of living like there's nothing wrong. And if they're not real, then that's the image that I get. And it's looking through rose colored glasses. Like this was like, there was a village on the other side of this wall that I had been in before I was flying over this river. And like, I didn't want to be there because, like, every child needs a village, right? And this village just wasn't my village. Like, this was just like not the village that I need, anyways, for my kids. And it takes a village to raise a child, right? Well, you know, not that one. Like, I repeat, not that one. Um, so that's why I left, and I was transmuting all these like toxins, and the river was just kind of like, no, I'm not going to give anything more to this world. Like maybe it was the river of life. I don't know. Maybe it was the river of death. Who knows what it was? But the universe just was like, boom, there's a wall. And so then that was that dream, um, and then like because this was all crow encounters. Like we went for a walk, me and my dad and the kids, and it takes like 10 minutes to walk down this little kind of like incline down to the beach. And there's not a whole lot of crows usually. Like, there's not a whole lot of garbage. There's not a whole lot of shellfish, probably. Like, there's just not a whole lot of anything, because there's probably, like, a lot of creatures, like seagulls and stuff that eat things on those beaches, and they're just not very, like, shelly. Like, there's lots of jellyfish, um, because they're rocky. Like, they're very rocky, like, those big rocks that you see that you can climb on. And so I was just like, oh, that's weird, there's a crow. And then on the way back, again, I threw the crow like some mango. It wasn't the ultimate snack, but the crow was very grateful, which I thought was so cute. It like hopped over and was like, like, what a nice person. And then on the way back, there was this feather, which I'll show you after. It's like up on my windowsill. Actually, I don't really know if I need to show. Honestly, like, I don't know. Maybe I will in a short or something like that, but like, I don't know if I can get up. I'm just gonna, oh, I feel like there's a car coming soon here. I like to shuffle, if you didn't know, like, obsessively. So I took it as a gift and was like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't expect that it was in perfect condition, too. And I'm just very protective of it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Lost lands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. So interesting. I feel like it's all been done before. The next encounter was, so I had a dream I was in a forest and there was like this rectangular, like 20-foot by 10-foot greenhouse, and it was just panels of glass, like no supports in between, no decorative stuff, like no fancy detailing, just like a box made out of like old fur, because I was in this forest, right? And it was very mystical. And just this slightly tinted glass. And it was like this beautiful sanctuary in this thing. Like, the way that I saw the rest of the world through these beautiful panes of glass was amazing. Like, the forest was like lit up in this way. Like, I just felt so safe. It was like this sensorium of safety. Like, it was just beautiful. And these crows all came and sat like right on the edge of this pane of glass wall, like the wood, and just looked at me. Like, they all looked at me, and like I felt like Dumbo or something, like from the Disney movie. Like, they were just like, I don't know, like communicating to me. It was just like being outside feeding the crows. Like, I felt their personalities. I felt like, I was one of the gang. Like, I don't know, it was just so beautiful. And they all kind of sat like vultures, to be honest. Like, and that's how a lot of them sit around here. Like, I don't know if I've said this on a video, because some of my videos are so long I don't remember anything, but a lot of times, like, I'll look at a crow from a distance and like just out of nowhere, like, I'll be like all of a sudden locked eyes with like a crow like sitting on my fence. And like, it's almost like I can see them thinking. Like, they're just so cognitive, And I don't know why, but a lot of them just remind me of vultures. Like, this one time, side note, my garbage dumpster's lid was like this, right? Because it has like locks. And this vulture was there, and like I couldn't see it because it was behind the garbage lid, and I don't have very good vision. A lot of the times, like peripheral, and just, I scan the areas, but like I'm not always like very, you know, intently looking in one direction. And like, of course, when it caught my eye, I was just stunned, like it was so beautiful. It was this vulture, and it was kind of lifting its talon, and like I could see the like thought process, like, like just scanning me and being like, you're good. And then the kids came out, and it was like, bye. I got like a little bit scared. But so I'm driving home a couple days after that experience, and of like the solarium, and I come home, and like, I'm like working out here, and so it's like, I think I stopped by my house even to grab some cleaning stuff because I had to do the Airbnb turnover. And like, the crows, they weren't really like engaged with me. Like, I think they were probably thinking like that I was like done. So I put a whole bunch of peanuts up on the balcony because squirrels don't really ever go up there. It's way too high. And I left and just like, prayed that like they would trust that I was coming back because I really liked them. But I went and did my job and everything, and then on the way in, it's like a half an hour drive. On the highway, there's this big lamppost, and like a lot of crows sit on these lampposts in this area. Like there's big trees and like lots of land and stuff like that. Lots of garbage bins, lots of like foraging for stuff. Like probably some pretty good insects and protein and eggs and stuff like that. But not just for crows. So I'm looking at this lamppost and I'm like, that is a really big crow. And as I think to myself, it could be a vulture, it turns around, like right in front of me, and it looks down at me like it's just like, it knew that like I was gonna see it, and it was just so amazing. Like to me, that was just like so regal, and I went home just feeling that power, and like back to the house sitting gag, and like exactly another 2 days later, I'm like doing a yoga session on the deck. And after I came out of Shavasana, and like I was deep in meditation, I'm still deep in meditation from that. I was it was very restorative, and I was very like in recovery mode. Cleaning is hard, especially when you're house sitting like 4-acre property. I don't know how many acres it is, but there was also like, there was a feather when I got up from Shavasana. It was really cute, and I don't know what happened to it because that's why the other feather's on the windowsill, because I had that little feather here. It was tiny compared to the other one, and it was very cute little crowish. Like, it wasn't like baby vulture crow at all. It was like scraggly old cute little crow. I think my daughter was making the bed in here, and I think it just went whoosh somewhere. So maybe it was just meant to kind of like, exist in the dust. I don't know. But yeah, like I could have sworn there was a crow in the chicken coop when the chickens were going crazy, and I knew it wasn't this car alarm that went off because like they were going crazy when the car alarm went off. They were going crazy before that. And then I saw this massive owl. Like this was just a crazy 10 days. And this owl like did the same thing. It flew into this tree on the property, and like I went right up to it and was staring at it. And like it had its head turned to the left, and then it turned its head to the right and looked right at me again. It was just so weird. Like it was so amazing. And then it like went into the neighbor's yard and was on a tree and got kind of uncomfortable and flew away finally. But I went and visited my mom's friend, and I was telling her how like there's crows living on her roof because they probably feel really safe there, and because there's nobody below her, and her balcony is really big, and she's like right in front of the ocean, like she's above the pool, and there's nobody above her. And like I asked her, I was like, is there like anyone living up there? And she's like, no, I think there's like a balcony-ish type deck, like for people who work up there and like need to put their things up there. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure that like these crows are building a little safe spot for their food. And she's like, oh wow. And like, this is my mom's friend. Like, my mom was really young. She had me when she was 17, and she was really like young when she moved on from this world. But her friend that she left behind, I joke around and say that like that was my inheritance. Because it's really like, she's a really amazing life skills coach, and she's like been my mom's friend for like over a decade. And I just like, she's really protective and empowering. Like she's my village. She's for sure my village. But I saw a murder of crows go by her balcony, and I said, oh my god, like every time I see a murder, it's not that big. Like this was really big. Like this was rare. It was a rare moment. When I see a murder of crows, it's not very often, but when I do, it's like I have to do this, and there's only like 5 of them, and like they don't squawk about anything. Like they're just flying. But they're very like engaged with each other. Like they're very on a mission, and these ones, it was even like more so like a storybook. Like I was like, all of a sudden the the story writer in me was like awake, like, and I said to her, that's a huge murder. Like, where are they going? Like, it was really beautiful. And then I had to go back to the place, like, get the dog out, make sure all the chickens were in and everything else. So I left before, like, just around, like, dusk, which is pretty late here because it's summer. And then I went home and, ever since then, it's just been, I've been tired, which is good. Like, I feel like being tired, is a sign of safety. It's a sign of, like, you're relaxed, your nervous system is reset. Also, like, I'm just tired because, like, I'm tired from doing all of that, but I'm feeling really, like, connected right now, and I feel like the crows are connecting with my dreams. Like, I mean, they are connecting with my dreams, but I feel like the Cute Little Crow 2 era is, like, it's really starting to feel like it's, the meaning of it, like, the purpose of it for me is really starting to become clear. And I'm just gonna kind of, like, take a break and, yeah, like, see what happens when I just don't, have intention, like, when I just try and get some rest. If I do have a dream, of course I'm gonna talk about it, but, the crows were very dominant over the last 11 days, and it's been really special. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my stories. Yes, I'm tired. I'm really tired. And today I had this moment, helping my friend. Like, unfortunately, my new family is already falling apart. It's devastating. I'm not joking. Like, how do I put this? Like, with my mom, there was a lot of, like, trauma. And before epigenetics was really a thing, and, like, before trauma was even really ever a big thing, like, I was experiencing a lot of different, like, kind of what I call, like, strokes, because I knew that my mom wasn't, like, intentionally trying to, like, kick me out or hurt me. But her own trauma, I feel like I felt a lot of it, and she was kind of numb to it. So there'd be, like, these weird kind of, like, catatonic days, since I was a teenager. I had an amazing childhood, even if, like, a lot of stuff happened in my childhood. I was really good at, like, just tuning it out, but as a teenager, it's almost like I could see it, and it's been a very, like, naturally psychedelic experience of seeing layers, in my visual field, right? Especially in my dreams. And today was one of those days where I went right back to being a teenager because my little family was falling apart, like my new little tribe. That I feel like this is why I feel like the last 11 days have felt like lifetimes, because I spent a couple days with them. We had a couple dinners, and I could feel something was up when they were going home, because they were just kind of like, different in the car. And it was like they'd been kind of, faking it till you make it. And then when they were going home, I was just sort of like, is everything okay? And now it's not. So when I was driving one of them today, I was feeling really activated and really triggered. And, like, just across the whole, intersection, I was like, wow, I'm seeing patterns. Like, she's really into aliens and stuff, and he's just very tribal. Like, I don't know if he sees it or not, but so there was this fusion, is what I call it, of, like, texture, cognitive texture almost, like, just very, me deprogramming myself and, like, decoding what was going on, and, like, getting rid of the hardwire. It was almost like I could see where the hardwire was. And I was like, no, we don't want this. And it's a beautiful process because I feel like there's a lot of forgiveness, and I feel like that's sort of rare. Like, I think a lot of people, they cling to ideas like narcissism and toxicity, and we don't forgive. And I'm not saying like everyone should forgive people, but this was a particularly healing moment because the way that trauma was kind of like overlapping into my world, that it wasn't mine, it was still healing for mine. So anyways, it's hard to explain things like that. Like, it's hard to explain vision like that, but it's kind of like having a lens, and in that lens, you're able to see things. I hope that makes sense. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to sleep now. 20 minutes is a beautiful amount of time for a video. It always has been for YouTube. It's like iconic. And yes, YouTube was my thing during first Cute Little Crow era. I watched it a lot. I watched a lot of like Bjork, a lot of Dido, a lot of, I don't know, just listening to Pink Floyd, and like, yeah, I do a lot of podcasts and stuff like that now with YouTube. It's a big part of this whole thing. And this girl's gonna go to bed, so I really appreciate you guys, like, just being here and holding space with me, and like accepting that I'm so tired. Tired is a signal. It's like, you are safe. You can rest now, which is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I love you, all my lovebirds, and I'll talk to you more tomorrow.